Hello and welcome to It'll Be Alright in the 90s, the podcast that's currently £5 down on the pub quiz machine and frankly is starting to think the machine might be rigged. I'm Alex Greenwood and joining me is my co-host Stu Joslin. Stu, how are you?
Hi mate, lovely to be here again. Hello from the Windows Update hellscape wilderness, which I join you from. Yes, I apologise for my lateness this evening, but the laptop has decided that now is the time to do a massive update of all of its faculties, and thus I've had to find an alternative means of joining you. But here we are. The show must go on, as we always say, and it's great to be back with everybody again.
It is one of the great risks of podcasting, isn't it? One of the big dangers is that your laptop may suddenly do an update, a classic Windows 95 update, and before you know it, you're struggling for time. But you're here, and that's the main thing.
Hey,
and,
you step out of the door in the morning, you don't know whether you're going to come home at night. I mean, that's exactly the world we live in, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, I would say you should update from Windows 95 if it's going to cause you this much grief. But then again, what are you going to upgrade to? 98? I mean,
exactly that. I mean, they could never top 95 if you ask me. Everything else was just folly after that. They nailed it with Windows 95. So yes, I've steadfastly refused to update my machine from Windows 95.
Quite right. We're aware that it is getting quite late in the year. It's true. It's undeniable. We're into September now. But that said, actually, we're not into September. This is the last day of August. What am I talking about? We're almost out of the official summer months. But this is our summer party episode today, which this year is taking the form of a pub quiz. We'll be winging our way over to the Three Crowns in a moment. But before we get into that, I should say today's episode is sponsored by Texas Homeware. So if you head down to your local branch of Texas and quote the code AllRight90s at the counter, you will receive 10% off in their timber yard, where among other things you will find their full selection of trestling and fencing. So this is a perfect offer for some garden DIY over the autumn. So thanks very much for this episode's sponsors, Texas Homeware.
Fantastic. Thanks so much to Texas for getting involved. Fond memories of the Texas store in Chippenham. I'm sad to say that I made a joke in the office last week. This isn't my full-time job, believe it or not, listeners. I made a joke in the office last week about Texas Home Care, and nobody got it. There was a range of ages there, and nobody got the reference. Somebody was either going to or just returned from Texas. I said, what, the homeware place? And no, nothing at all. So I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Exactly. This is A-grade material they're getting. And,
it's such a shame, isn't it, when content like that just goes over people's heads. You think we could have used that on the podcast somehow, but again, it's just one of those things, isn't it, about being a 90s podcaster. These things happen.
Yeah, we can but try.
So we're not going to be doing a mailbag or what's the most 90s this week, just because we're going to go straight into the quiz as soon as possible. But I should quickly say, Stu, there has been some news in the children's TV world, hasn't there, that we probably shouldn't leave until the next episode.
Yes, there has. The black armbands have been out in the Joslin household this week after the announcement that CITV will be closing down at the start of September and being replaced by an online service, the rather questionably named ITVX Kids. As pointed out by legend of the pod, Tim Parker. It's a really, really sad day for me. CITV, a real cornerstone of my life growing up in the 90s. Home from school every weekday from 3 o'clock. There it was for a couple of hours. Obviously, children's programming hasn't been on mainstream terrestrial channels for, probably about 20 years now, or certainly getting to that sort of time frame. So it was always moving further and further into the background. But I just think it's such a shame that children growing up in this era don't get that slot of TV for themselves after school. It's always hidden away somewhere. You have to go and find it. It's not, okay, the terrestrial channels, the main terrestrial channels are putting aside a couple of hours for our kids to enjoy some TV. And I think it's a real shame that has disappeared from the airwaves, and really with CITV disappearing, it's a real big death knell, I think. And really, really sad to see it go. But I will retain fond memories of my time in front of the TV from the ages of 4 to about 12.
Yeah, absolutely. It is quite a big day, isn't it? Speaking as a children's BBC loyalist, I'm actually very happy about the result, and I'm considering it a great victory in the children's television wars. And it's been a long time coming. It's been a war of attrition, but a victory for CBBC.
So is this like for you as a Norwich fan, just to make an analogy here? Is this like seeing Ipswich Town go out of business?
It is a little bit like that, yeah, yeah, exactly. No, I joke, of course. I think everything you said, I agree with. I think it's a real shame that children's TV is now no longer on terrestrial TV, and even CITV in the form that it was in is no longer going to be around. So yeah, I think it's a real shame, but unfortunately, time marches in one direction, and this is the sort of thing that's going to keep happening, isn't it, now and again? So
I'm sad to say, I think you're right, but with all my heart, rest in peace, CITV, and thank you for everything you did for me.
Right, so on to the quiz then. As I said, we will be heading over to the Three Crowns pub in Chippenham shortly, but this quiz is not only for people who were in person in the pub. This is for you, the listener, wherever you are in the world, and we will be asking you to take part in the quiz as you go along. Well, we've edited it in a way that means you can pause it when you hear the question, answer it, write your answer down, and then play the next question. And we want you to keep track of your answers. So there'll be 3 rounds, then the answers, and then another 3 rounds, and then the answers. So you'll have to be honest, score your own score sheets. And basically we want you to submit your scores on the quiz to our social media messages. So either our Twitter account or our Instagram account. Please send them into the actual direct messages rather than just putting them as a comment under the episode, because people will see what you've got, and as much as we trust our listeners, it's best to just keep it, I think, and more fun to keep it anonymous and a secret, and we can reveal who won in 2 weeks. I think the deadline will be in 2 weeks, which I think leads us up to the 14th of September, so 2 weeks from when this episode comes out. So get your answers in by then, and the winner will receive some prizes, which I think, Stu, you have over there.
Yes, absolutely. We've got a terrific plethora of prizes for lucky winners in the quiz. We've got some vintage Viz comics. I've got some CD singles. We've even got a PlayStation 1 game, a Space Precinct action figure, amongst many other things. So there's plenty here to get excited about. And make sure you get your answers in before the deadline to have a chance of winning.
As Stu said, plenty of brilliant prizes, so well worth getting involved. But for now, it's time to head over to the pub, the Three Crowns in Chippenham, and listen to the quiz take place. So here we go.
Over to us.
Right. Hello and welcome to the Three Crowns pub in the People's Republic of That's an alpha, not constantly, isn't it?
It's all right. You're close to the mic.
Yeah.
Don't worry. Keep going.
Hello and welcome to the Three Crowns pub in the People's Republic of Chippenham. It's the inaugural It'll Be Alright in the 90s pub quiz.
Hey! Alright.
I'm your quizmaster Alex, and joining me is my glamorous assistant Stu.
Stu,
this is essentially our summer party, isn't it?
It is, yes. Summer party part 2. Hopefully it will be a regular occurrence, but nice to do something different. Obviously we did the board game last time, which was a bit of a nadir for the podcast at the time.
It was no offence to the 2 people who were here and took part in that party, but it was
quite right.
It was a low point, as I'm sure they'll both admit. To confirm, the ambience you can hear in the background is not been added in post mix. This is genuine North Wiltshire pub ambience you can hear.
Absolutely, genuine pub noise, yeah.
And at times drowning us out, like now actually. But as previously mentioned on previous episodes, this quiz is being carried out in person, but it's also going to be one of our podcasts. So for listeners who are hearing this 2 weeks or 3 weeks later, we still want you to get involved. We want you to answer the questions as though you were here in person. Submit your scores to us on social media, and we will submit a prize to you through the Royal Mail, and you can basically enjoy it in the same way that the people here in the room are enjoying it. So that actually we should go through the prizes now, shouldn't we? Because,
yeah, absolutely. Why not?
5 minutes ago, I was made aware that Stu has left his portion of the prizes at home, so we only have some of the prizes here, which I will get now. We have.
This is a superb selection, I have to say. For those who haven't seen it, this is amazing.
We have a Magic Eye book, from this is Magic Eye 2, the sequel, 3D Illusions by Anything Enterprises. So anyone who's into that particular 90s form of eye entertainment will enjoy that. I have a former present from Stu to myself, which is the
Which is now given away.
I'm giving it away, yeah. I've read it. It's the May 1996 Q magazine with a feature on the Cranberries, something on Sting, Oasis, Led Zepp. But yeah, mid-decade Q magazine. Another present that Stu gave me, I've now finished reading, which is 442 magazine from July 1998. An England-Scotland World Cup special with Michael Owen as the main feature star.
Craig's very interested in that.
And then finally, from the printed magazine section of the prizes, we have an Argos Christmas gifts catalogue, which was given to us by Mark from Glasgow, one of our loyal listeners. And there's also, I've just remembered this, there's some temporary tattoos from the 90s, which includes an E15 dog logo and some other assorted Looney Tunes. And then finally, in the prize kitty, we have some dweebs, 90s and recently reintroduced sweets of dweebs.
They really love the tweeds in there. Man, they love those.
And then finally a push pop, which had been mentioned, of course, in our What's the Most 90s snack feature, which we did a few weeks ago. So they are the prizes. And Stu, do you want to tell us the format of the quiz?
Yeah, absolutely. So we've got 6 rounds of 10 questions each. So we'll have 3 rounds. We'll have a little break. We might go around and have a chat to a few of our pod legends who are here tonight. I would venture this is the highest concentration of pod legends we've ever had in person.
Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely, This is a high watermark for that. Then we'll obviously have the other 3 rounds. We'll go through the answers for everyone in here and the listeners at home. And a good time will be had by all, hopefully, if everything goes to plan.
Fantastic. I think we should just get straight into it.
Yeah.
Shall we start with one of your rounds, Stu, because I've done too much talking. So
Okay, I'll put it to the room. It would be like music, sport, or general knowledge to kick us off with.
Music.
Big vote for music there at the back. Everybody okay? Right, music. Okay. So this round is all about UK boy and girl bands from the 90s. So what I've got the Christian names of the members of the band, and I've got the title of their highest charting single from the 90s and the year in which that single hit the charts. All you need to do is write down the name of the band. Does everybody understand? We're off and running. Okay, so number 1 on UK boy and girl bands. Liz, Heidi and Kerry, and they had a hit with Right Now in 1999. Also, don't forget to put your team names down at the top of the sheet so we don't get mixed up. I'll give a bonus point for the most 90s team name. How about that?
Oh, I like
Do you reckon? I'm just going on the fly here.
Yeah, no, I
It's
like
totally
it.
off the chain. Okay, number 2. Lee, Jimmy and Spike, who had a hit with A Little Bit More, also in 1999. Glyn already, I can see a bit of a passenger at this point.
Almost on this point.
Number 3. Adele, Kiwi, Lindsay and Sinead, C'est la vie, 1998. Number 4. David, Matthew, Tony and Ali, and the song was called More to This World from 1994. Probably the toughest one of the round, I would say, just to give a bit of a benchmark. I don't know how they've had the temerity to schedule an England-Wales rugby match on the same night as the pod summer party.
Can't escape it,
Can't escape it, can you know? Number 5. Selena, Heavenly and Namer, and their hit was called Finally Found, and that was from 1998.
Are these like one-hit wonders, Stuart?
They're not all one-hit wonders, no. And I know that you called me Stuart, which indicates that you're frustrated. Number 6. Brian, Tony, John and Terry, Stay Another Day from 1994.
a really bad shirt for this evening in here. This is 100% polyester, man. This is not good.
For listeners, Stu is wearing, what is that, 95, 97?
95 to 97, Villa home, yeah. Dressed appropriately. And you're wearing some official
Pod merch.
pod merch, yeah.
Yeah. As produced by the pod legend Adam.
Did you get that free from Jeff?
It was, it fell off the back of
I've not had one.
fell off the back of a lorry.
Number 7, Louise, Anya, Sophie, Callie, and Jenny. The song was called Say It Again, and that was from 1999. Okay, 3 more in this round. Number 8, Tom, James, Lee, and Sam. The song was called I'm a Man, Not a Boy, and that was from 1997.
I'm a bit worried what posters Stu had on his wall.
I don't remember them, but
I did actually have a couple of this band singles, I must admit. Number 9, Vernie, Esther, Louise, and Kelly. I Want to Be the Only One from 1997. Okay, and finally for this round, number 10, Ben, Paul, Christian, and Mark. And it was a double A side, Every Time and Ready or Not, and that was from 1999.
all the answers. Get all the answers.
Marv Love in the room for question 10.
We can edit that cheer, move it around, and put it after we introduced ourselves.
Yes, yeah, that sounds good. Yeah, we'll do that. Listen out for that. So that concludes our first round, the music round. I'll hand over to Alex. Well, what topics have we got coming up for round 2? What can we choose from?
Well, you can choose from movies, current affairs, or TV. TV. Thank you, Becky. So the TV round is split into 2 halves. The first half is kids TV, the second half is adult TV, or grown-up TV, I should say. So the first 5 questions on kids TV, starting with number 1. Tia and Tamara Mowry starred as twins in which US show which ran from 94 to 1999? Right, question 2. What was the name of the BBC Children's Saturday morning magazine show which ran from 95 to 2000, airing over the summer breaks of Live and Kicking? Presenters included Gail Porter and Tim Vincent.
It is a difficult question, to be fair. That's quite a difficult one. Yeah.
Question 3. What was the name of the original rival youth club to Biker Grove? I say original because it did change into the 2000s, but the original 90s rival youth club to Biker Grove was called what? Question 4. What were the names of the twins in the Rugrats? What were the names of the twins in the Rugrats?
Love questions about twins, don't you?
Yeah, what's that all about?
Yeah. A theme.
It's because I'm a Gemini.
Yeah, there you go, see?
Yeah, I'm not a Gemini, I'm a Cancer.
There's one about Mary, Kate and Ashley coming up next. There's the episode title, by the way. I'm not a Gemini, I'm a Cancer. And in the danger of repeating a joke from a different episode, I'm not in the least bit bothered about sound bleed from the other bar because I'm not editing this one.
I always get the really tough ones to edit. And the 5th and final question of the kids' TV section, and anyone who doesn't get this, well. Question
Immediate
5.
ejection.
Have you ever felt like this was the opening line of the theme tune to which CBBC programme? Right, let's move on to the grown-up TV section. Question 6. In Friends, what is the name of the building superintendent who Joey agrees to help with his ballroom dancing in Series 4? Okay, question 7. Joss Whedon directed a poorly received film in 1992, which he then adapted into a far more successful TV programme later in the decade. Who was the title character of both? Question 8. Which Scottish police officer did Robert Carlyle play from 1995 to 1997? Question 9. In Lois and Clark, The New Adventures of Superman, which actor played Clark Kent? And final question in the TV round. In which direction were Question 10. And the final question in the TV round. In which direction were Constable Benton Fraser and Detective Ray Vecchio headed?
So, round 3, general knowledge. Question number 1. What was the surname of Victoria Beckham before she got married to David?
Gosh.
Question number 2. What was the name of the first mammal to be successfully cloned? This happened on the 5th of July, 1996. Must be half time, they've settled down a bit out there, haven't they?
Well, at the end, that was the second half.
Oh, was that it?
Yeah.
Oh, thank God for that, okay.
They're all coming here for the quiz next.
Question number 3. What was founded in 1991 by the academic Alan Sked as the Anti-Federalist League, changing to its current name in 1993? I notice we've got a phone out in the room. What's going on there? Can you explain that?
I was just checking the scores.
Oh yeah. Right.
Foul got settled.
Number 4. Question number 4. If today is your Pearl anniversary, in which year of the 1990s did you get married? Question number 5. Which was the last Harry Potter book to be released in the 1990s?
It's all the last thing.
Question 6 in this round.
Hang on. Still discussing Harry Potter.
I won't be dictated to by the contestants. Question number 6. Which African country was officially renamed the Democratic Republic of the Congo following a military coup in May 1997? Number 7. The Sun's famous headline, "Tears on the Back Seat," referred to which event in November 1990? Number 8. Which country replaced the escudo as its currency with the euro on the 1st of January 1999? Question number 9. Which English model and actor who won Model of the Year at the British Fashion Awards in 2012 and 2014 was born on August the 12th, 1992 and celebrates their 31st birthday today as we record?
Oh. I know. I know this.
Write it down then.
I read it in the Daily Mirror.
It is a female model and actor, yes. And finally for this round, question 10. What did Kellogg's change the name of their Cocoa Pops cereal to in February 1998? A move which was quickly reversed in the spring of the following year after a sharp decline in sales. So that concludes the general knowledge round and the first half of the quiz. So Alex, we've had a little bit of a chat.
Yeah.
And what we've decided to do is we're going to have a little break now as we planned.
Yeah.
When we come back, we'll do the answers for the first round, and then we'll crack on with the second round, and then the answers to the second round after that.
Absolutely.
Okay,
We'll see you in a bit.
it's half time. So we'll go through the answers for the first 3 rounds. Round 1 was music, and it was a UK boy and girl bands. So question number 1 was Liz, Heidi and Kerry with the song Right Now in 1999, and they were Atomic Kitten, of course. Number 2, Lee, Jimmy and Spike with a little bit more in 1999, they were 911. Number 3, Adele, Kiwi, Lindsay and Sinead with C'est La Vie in 1998 were Bewitched, of course. Number 4, David, Matthew, Tony and Ali with More to This World in 1994. Congratulations to anyone in the room who got Bad Boys Inc. Anyone remember them? No? I had their album on cassette.
You did?
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah.
You did? Yeah.
Number 5, Selena, Heavenly and Naima with Finally Found in 1998. They were the Honeys with a Z. Number 6, Brian, Tony, John and Terry with the massive Stay Another Day from 1994 were E17. Number 7, Louise, Anya, Sophie, Callie and Jenny with Say It Again in 1999 were Precious, and they actually represented the UK in Eurovision that year, and they came 12th with Say It Again. Performed slightly better in the charts, it got to number 6. Number 8, Tom, James, Lee and Sam with I'm a Man Not a Boy from 1997 were North and South, who had their own CBBC show called No Sweat. I don't know if anybody remembers that, which I was a big fan of. Number 9, Vernie, Esther, Louise and Kelly with I Want to Be the Only One in 1997, of course, were Eternal. And finally, number 10, Ben, Paul, Christian and Mark with a double A side, Every Time and Ready or Not in 1999 were A1. So I'll hand over to Alex for the TV answers.
Right, so the answers for the TV round as follows. So the first half were kids' TV questions, as mentioned. So question 1, which was about Tia and Tamara Mowry. They starred as twins in Sister Sister.
Sister, Sister. I preferred their brother Taj in Smart Guy.
Question 2, which was about the Saturday morning magazine show which aired during the summer breaks of Live and Kicking. It was, of course, Fully Booked. Fully Booked.
I think it took over permanently when Live and Kicking stopped.
Oh, did it?
I think it's for a couple of years it became yeah.
Question 3, the rival youth club to Biker Grove was Craig, husband of the pod, from Newcastle, Denton Byrne. It was Denton Byrne. Question 4, the twins in the Rugrats were Phil and Lil. Question 5, have you ever felt like this? Was the opening line of the theme tune to Round a Twist. And then onto the...
There's a lot of atmospherics we have to deal with here, isn't there?
Yeah.
We've now got the Scottish national anthem blaring out in the front part.
Question 6, we're onto the grown-up TV now. There's talk of half points over there. I think it's getting contentious.
Yeah.
Question 6, the building superintendent from Friends was called Mr. Trigger, or Trigger, I'd obviously accept. Question 7, the Joss Whedon film and TV programme was Buffy the Vampire Slayer. The Scottish police officer Robert Carlyle played was Hamish Macbeth. In Lois and Clark, The New Adventures of Superman, the actor who played Clark Kent was Dean Cain. And finally, Constable Benton Fraser and Detective Ray Vecchio were headed after 3, 1, 2, 3.
Due south.
Due south indeed. Yes, it's a TV show.
Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Gonna have to have some serious words here. Okay, so once people mark those up, if you'd like to swap back, and we'll continue on. Oh! We'll edit that out. So, round 3 was general knowledge. So number 1, what was the surname of Victoria Beckham before she married David? She was Victoria Adams.
I can't believe it. Legends of the pods, like with head in hands over there.
I think we might have to have a rethink, about some of the credentials of our legends here. What was the name of the first mammal to be successfully cloned on the 5th of July 1996? This is question number 2. Dolly the sheep.
Full name.
Just Dolly is fine. Question number 3. What was founded in 1991 as the Anti-Federalist League, changed to its current name in 1993? That is the UK Independence Party, or UKIP. Well, I mean, it could be argued. We've got a very 90s feel in the back bar now. I think somebody's opened a window and there's a lot of cigarette smoke coming into the back bar.
It's still just stuffy,
It's a real 90s feel. This is good. Number 4. If today is your Pearl anniversary, in which year of the 1990s did you get married? Well, your Pearl anniversary is your 30th anniversary. So congratulations if you put 1993. Question 5. The last Harry Potter book released in the 1990s was Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. Number 6. The African country that was renamed Democratic Republic of Congo following a military coup in May 1997, that was Zaire.
He did say that, but I couldn't spell it.
Legends of the 1974 World Cup, of course.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Number 7. The Sun's famous Tears on the Backseat headline referred to Margaret Thatcher leaving 10 Downing Street.
Are you
Big cheer
celebrating
from
the
Rosie.
answer or the event there?
It's better than everybody. We'll find out.
And it was when I was researching the question, they actually repeated that headline when Theresa May left Downing Street. They had pretty much exactly the same picture, and they used the same headline. So, number 8, the country that replaced the escudo with the euro in January '99 was Portugal. Number 9, the English female model and actor who won Model of the Year twice was born on August 12th, 92, so celebrates her 33rd birthday today as we're recording. This episode is Cara Delevingne. And finally, number 10, Kellogg's changed the name of Cocoa Pops to Choco Krispies for a brief time in the late 90s before changing it back again. We'll get closer to the mic face while they're chatting over there. How do you think we're going so far? Do you think we're handling it okay?
I think we're handling it quite well. The quizzes,
Yeah.
there's a lot of tension out there, there's some bad blood.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could get ugly in the second half.
I think Big Tim might start throwing pint glasses around in a minute. It seems like the kind of thing that might happen.
Yeah, we
Glyn's
are.
looking flustered.
The security guard,
Yeah.
Big Tim Parker, is the one who seems to be causing the most trouble. So
We've now got one table approaching another table.
yeah,
Hannah didn't get the Spice Girls question. There's been a bit of a...
that was the low point. The front bar is really kicking off as well.
It is, yeah. We could have a situation on our hands. So let's get on with the second round and see how we get on. So before we kick off with the second half of the quiz, we'll have a check-in with the half-time scores and see how everyone's getting on. Legends of the pod, Glyn and Diamond Joe, we'll come to you first. What's your team name, first of all?
Well,
Jolene.
Jolene, I like that. Okay,
I was trying to
Jolene.
do a portmanteau of Joe and Glyn. Best I could come up with Jolene.
It's not very 90s, but we like it. And how are you getting on after the first 3 rounds?
Yeah, we're doing all right. On our sheet, we did put a Z
Yeah,
for the Congo,
yeah.
because it was Zaire, but we didn't know how to spell it.
I didn't give him a point for writing one letter.
No. And you're quite right. So Jolene are on 18. Okay, case is closed for that.
That's fair enough.
Okay, legend of the pod Hannah and husband of the pod Craig will come to you. What's your team name?
Our team name is Live and Kicking.
Love that.
Nice.
Fantastic. And how are we doing after 3 rounds?
Yeah, pretty well. 17.
17. It's tight.
It's tight.
It's very tight.
It's tight, yeah.
After the 3 rounds. Excellent. Thank you very much, guys.
Right, Steve and Becky, well, how are you doing over there in the corner?
First of all, our team name is the B Sharps.
Superb.
Brilliant.
That's a clubhouse leader, I would say.
You're in the lead,
Yep.
yeah.
Our score is 12.
12. Not bad, not bad.
10 points for B Sharps.
And legend of the pod, Big Tim Parker with Sam Peru Perry over there. What is your score? And we should say that Sam Peru Perry wasn't there for the first half. He's only just joined. So just Tim.
Firstly, it's the Springfield Files.
The Springfield Fuss. Another strong
Another
one.
city, yeah, it's another strong one.
It's 15.
15.
It's very tight between all the
Probably an
teams.
extra
I
point because I
think,
turned
I
up until
think we
round
should
3.
protest on the Spitfin scores, or they will through.
It's just for, let's remember, it's just for fun and these 90s prizes. Okay. Okay, Alex, what are the choices for round number 4? What can we choose from?
You can choose from films or current affairs. Current affairs it is.
Current affairs.
Not so current
That's
affairs.
it, that's
is,
it,
yeah.
Becky. Oh, man.
Okay, not so current affairs. Question 1. In 1990, in an attempt to reassure the British public of the safety of British beef, what did Minister for Agriculture John Selwyn Gummer do in front of press cameras?
I had to look this up and I couldn't believe the answer when I read it.
In 1990, in an attempt to reassure the British public of the safety of British beef, what did Minister for Agriculture John Selwyn Gummer do in front of press cameras? Question 2. In 1997, in a step towards social progress, Stephen Twigg and Ben Bradshaw became the first UK politicians to what?
A lot of love in the room for Stephen Twigg and Ben Bradshaw.
Yeah. Question 3. Who did Tony Blair replace as leader of the Labour Party in 1994? Glyn yet again has head in hands.
Yeah. You know, Rodin based The Thinker on him. Certainly old enough. I'm quite glad we didn't hear that.
Question 4. In 1998, the Belfast Agreement was signed, but what was it better known as? Question 5. Which BBC journalist conducted the controversial Panorama interview with Princess Diana in 1995? Question 6. The Branch Davidian cult, led by David Koresh, had its headquarters at a compound outside which Texan city? Question 7. In which year was Kuwait liberated from Iraq in the Gulf War? Question 8. The Maastricht Treaty of 1992 brought into being which political entity? Question 9. In which year did the Channel Tunnel open? And then the final question in this round, question 10. Which of these search engines was launched first? Google, Ask Jeeves or Yahoo?
So round 5 is my last round of the night, and this is your sport round. So here we go, eyes down for the sport round. Number 1. Which motor racing driver was the only sports person to win the BBC Sports Personality of the Year award twice during a decade, in 1994 and 1996? Number 2. During the opening ceremony of the World Cup in USA in 1994, which pop star missed an open goal penalty kick? Number 3. Which tennis player won the Wimbledon ladies singles title 5 times during the 1990s? Number 4. Great Britain won only 1 gold medal at the 1996 Summer Olympics in Atlanta. And this is actually a 2-point question. Who won it and what was it for? Says a 2-point. I'll make this a 2-point question. Number 5. Which boxer lost part of his ear in an infamous fight with Mike Tyson in 1997? Number 6. The 1993 Grand National is unique in the history of the race. For what reason? Number 7. UK sport's most infamous quote of the 90s. When the seagulls follow the trawler, it's because they think sardines will be thrown into the sea. Was coined by who at a press conference in 1995? Number 8. One for Glyn here. The Buffalo Bills made NFL history between 1990 and 1993 by becoming the first team to do what in 4 consecutive seasons? Number 9, finally a question for the people next door. Which country hosted and won the 1995 Rugby World Cup? And finally for this round, the sport round, number 10, which England footballer scraped into the UK singles charts in 1993 with a song titled Do the Right Thing? Okay, without further ado, we'll move on to the final round. And by process of just get on with it.
The final round, of course, the best subject for a round is movies. Movies of the 90s. So the first 3 questions in this round are taglines from 90s movies. It's a bit of a cliche for pub quizzes, I know, but I've gone with it anyway. So the first of these movie taglines is, obviously I just need you to name the film. Number 1, his story will touch you even though he can't. Question 2, or tagline number 2, fear can hold you prisoner, hope can set you free. And question 3, the tagline, "Protecting the Earth from the scum of the universe," is from which film? The next three questions all relate to the Golden Raspberry Awards, which of course is the annual award ceremony that runs alongside the Oscars, which is for the worst films and actors and actresses, etc. So question 4, which actor won the Golden Raspberry Award for Worst Actor in 1998 for his roles in Armageddon, Mercury Rising and The Siege? So he won the award for Worst Actor for 3 different roles in 1998. Armageddon, Mercury Rising and The Siege.
That's outrageous.
While we're talking about the Golden Raspberries, and I hope this isn't preempting one of your questions, have you got over the fact that Woody Harrelson was awarded one for...
No, it's a scandal, and I've been writing to the Golden Raspberry Awards board for the past 3 weeks. I've sent them, I think, 4 emails, with no responses.
Well, what can you do? Their admin department's as bad as ours, clearly.
I know. Question 5. Which pop group surprisingly won the Golden Raspberry Award for Worst Actress in 1998? That's which pop group surprisingly won the Golden Raspberry Award for Worst Actress in 1998?
I think I know that one. That's a good question.
It's the Worst Actress Award, but it was won by a pop group. Speaking of scandalous award winners in the Golden Raspberries, question 6. Which movie starring Kevin Costner won the award for Worst Film in 1997? Right, moving on to the final 4 questions of this round. These are all general film related questions. Question 7. In which city is Home Alone set?
I've said it once, I've said it 1,000 times. Kevin McAllister's family is awful and he's better off without them.
Agrees.
That's just this guy's opinion.
Of course, his dad did later turn up in The Sopranos. There's that whole
Yes, of course, yeah, theory.
conspiracy theory.
Yeah.
Right, here's a humdinger. Question 8. What was the second highest grossing film of the 90s?
Now, this is one of 2 for me. I'll be interested to find out what the answer is. That's a very good question. I remember I once wrote a quiz for when I played Sunday League football. I wrote a quiz once for like the afternoon after the game in the pub, and one of my questions was who was Britain's second £2 million goalkeeper. At which point, people just like tore up their answer sheets and walked out in frustration. I mean, I can't remember.
Okay. I won't go.
It might have been Tim
I was
Flowers.
gonna
I'm not
say
sure.
Tim Flowers. Right, question 9. How many suspects are there in The Usual Suspects? How many suspects are there in The Usual Suspects? And the final question of the summer party, It Will Be Alright in the 90s pub quiz. Question 10. 1998 saw the release of 2 separate asteroid-based action movies, Armageddon and what? Glyn just told us he has to go soon, so we're going to quickly get on with the answers.
Sorry, everybody.
So get that last...
What's on TV that you got to be back for?
Right, has everyone swapped their answer sheets? Okay, the answers are coming now. So question 1 in current affairs. So this was to do with John Selwyn Gummer. What did he do in front of the press cameras? He only bloody fed his daughter a British beef burger. He fed his daughter a British beef burger. No, I will accept child or offspring.
You've got to eat a burger.
No, it has to be fed it to a child.
Yeah.
In 1997, the Social Progress won Stephen Twigg and Ben Bradshaw. The answer was they both became the first UK politicians to be elected whilst openly gay. So the first openly gay politicians to be elected to the House of Commons. Question 3. Tony Blair replaced John Smith as the leader of the Labour Party. Question 4. The Belfast Agreement was better known as the Good Friday Agreement. The BBC journalist who conducted the controversial Panorama interview with Diana was Martin Bashir.
Michael.
You also put Bashir Michael.
I give you half a point if you got Bashir. Question 6. The Branch Davidian cult led by David Koresh was based in Waco, Texas. It's the Waco siege, the infamous Waco siege. Question 7. Kuwait was liberated from Iraq in 1991.
1 year out.
And look, we can't infringe on any other quiz copyrights here, okay?
Question 8. The Maastricht Treaty of 1992 brought into being the European Union. And question 9. The Channel Tunnel opened in 1994. And the first search engine launched was Yahoo in 1995. Ask Jeeves was 97 and Google was 98. Over to you, Stu.
Thank you very much. We'll go through the answers to the sport round now, so this should be round 5. Number 1, the motor racing driver who won Sports Personality of the Year twice during a decade, only person to do so, Damon Hill. She won the Formula 1 World Championship in 1996.
Beaten in 1994 by Michael Schumacher.
Oh, we had to get that in.
Why did he win it in 94?
Fairly and squarely.
We didn't have a lot else to celebrate.
Question 2.
Move it on. Which pop star missed an open goal penalty during the opening ceremony of USA 94? Diana Ross. And
Well worth watching on YouTube.
it is well worth watching. If you haven't seen it, look it up. Yeah, the goal actually falls apart, but she's skewed it about 6 feet wide.
Like a Lupino.
Number 3, the tennis player who won the Wimbledon ladies title 5 times in the 90s was Steffi Graf. Number 4, Great Britain's sole gold medal at the 96 Olympics. There's 2 points on offer for this question. So it was won by Steve Redgrave and Matthew Pinson in the men's coxless pair, but I will accept rowing. And I'm feeling charitable, so I'll also accept it if you've just got Steve Redgrave or Matthew Pinson for the full point.
I don't think anyone got that.
Okay. Number 5, the boxer who had part of his ear bitten off by Mike Tyson is Evander Holyfield. Number 6. The 1993 Grand National is unique because it's the race that never was. The race was voided due to a false start and a lot of other problems on the day, and the jockey club decided not to run the race again.
They did actually run it, didn't they?
But the race was actually run. They did run, but it was counted as void, and then they never reran it. So yes, indeed. All right. Number 7, UK sport's most baffling quote of the 90s. When the seagulls follow the trawler, it's because they think sardines will be thrown into the sea. That was Eric Cantona, after his famous kung fu kick against the Crystal Palace fan, which was our 90s most shocking moment of violence, I believe, in a previous episode.
Sorry, we're just watching Diana Ross at the moment.
I like this, we're learning as we go.
A concept, nothing to do with it.
Number 8, the Buffalo Bills between 1990 and 1993 made NFL history. They were the first team to reach the Super Bowl final in 4 consecutive seasons, but they lost each time. So they were the first team to reach the final on 4 consecutive occasions. The best team never to win the Super Bowl, I'm reliably informed. Number 9, the country that hosted and won the 1995 Rugby World Cup was South Africa. And finally, for the sports round, number 10, the England footballer that scraped into the charts in 1993 with a single title, Do the Right Thing. The clue is in the title of the single. It's Ian Wright. Okay, over to Alex for the movie answers.
I don't know why I put on screen.
Right, so yes.
Oh, yeah.
The movie answers, the taglines, first off. So, question 1, his story will touch you even though he can't, was Edward Scissorhands. He can't touch you because his bloody hands are scissors. Tagline number 2, fear can hold you prisoner, hope can set you free, was the fantastic Shawshank Redemption, 1994. And of course, protecting the earth from scum of the universe was Men in Black from 1997. On to the Golden Raspberries. The actor who won Worst Actor in '98 for 3 roles was Bruce Willis. Question 5. The pop group who won the Golden Raspberry for Worst Actress was the Spice Girls for Spice World. And the movie starring Kevin Costner, worst film of '97. I think this might have. There was between 2 here. I think some people might have put Waterworld, but it's not Waterworld. It's The Postman.
That's even more outrageous.
Wow.
The Postman.
I've seen these.
On to the general ones, the general questions. Question 7. Home Alone is set in Chicago. The second highest grossing film of the '90s is the best film of all time, Jurassic Park.
Yeah, you did get that.
What's number 1?
Titanic. Titanic is number 1.
Of course it was.
And there are 5 suspects in The Usual Suspects. And the final question of the whole quiz was, of course, the partner to Armageddon in the asteroid-based action movies of '98, and it was Deep Impact. So count up your scores and
Swap back, yeah. Okay, have we charted up? Have we swapped back?
Yeah.
Okay, right. We'll go around the room again, and we'll ask our teams to read out their final scores.
Actually, should we give the bonus point for score now, just in case it looks like we're trying to
Yes.
change
Okay.
the winner?
So we did mention at the start we'd give a bonus point for the most '90s team name, and we have decided because it is one of our favourite episodes of The Simpsons, as previously discussed on the podcast, our bonus team point goes to the B Sharps. So pop that on your sheet as an extra point.
But it was very close because obviously the Springfield Files was another great Simpsons episode. But
Indeed.
it was tight.
Shocking.
Big Tim Parker's annoyed.
We needed that.
I think Tim needed an extra point. He'd have 3 rounds on his own.
Yeah, that's also that. Big Tim Parker did do the first half of the quiz on his own, but that bonus point was taken off Sam because he wasn't here for the first half of the
Yeah,
quiz.
so it levels itself
The
out.
traffic was terrible.
So we will start with Legend of the Pod, Big Tim Parker and Sam Peru Perry with the Springfield Files. Guys, what were your final points, please?
31.
31 points.
Very good.
Don't make a note of this yet. Round of applause in the room. And Becky and Steve on the B Sharps.
26.
26 for the B Sharps.
Craig and Hannah in Alive and Kicking.
We'll say 31.
Ooh.
Oh!
I don't think we've got a tiebreaker.
I knew this would happen.
Hang on, we might not need a tiebreaker because Glyn and Joe. What was your team name again?
Jolene?
Jolene.
What do you have? Is it over 31?
Yes.
Oh.
Oh.
40.
40. Wow.
Someone had a good second half of the quiz.
Yeah. So Jolene are our winners tonight. How about it? So that's the end of our inaugural It'll Be Alright in the 90s Summer Party Pub quiz, Alex. How do you think it went?
I think it's gone down a storm, yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone has maintained harmony. There's no fights have broken out, although it was,
It was looking likely at one
Yeah,
point, wasn't it?
was,
Yeah.
But there's a nice hubbub now as everyone enjoys their prizes.
Absolutely.
There's people flicking through the Q magazine and 442. Legend of the Pod, Hannah Kelly's trying to do a magic eye over there. And yeah, we've all had a nice trip, a nice time, and good time had by all. And I would say it was a greater success than, well, not a greater success than last year. It was a success compared to last year. So we hope all of you listeners at home have enjoyed the quiz and that you are totting up your totals now and you'll submit them to us. And there could be some prizes coming your way in the post. So yeah,
Absolutely,
let us
yeah. Please get your scores in. Yeah, as Alex said, a brilliant time had by all in the room. So it just remains for us to say thanks to everybody in the room for competing tonight. Thanks to the wonderful people at the 3 Crowns in Chippenham for allowing us to do this again in their back bar. And yeah, back to us in the studio.
So there it is. Congratulations to Jolene for their victory in the pub. Well earned. It was a close run thing for a bit there, but I think Glyn's superior knowledge and Diamond Joe, of course, I think really paid off there and led them to what actually turned out to be quite an easy victory. But
I think they only dropped a couple of marks in the entire second half of the quiz, which is obviously a fantastic achievement. So no, very, very well done to them. Also, just to name check all of our competitors on the night. So we had Legend of the Pod, Hannah Kelly Fletcher, Craig Fletcher, and Tim Parker, Diamond Joe Barter, and another Legend of the Pod, Glyn Joslin, and then pod listeners Steve and Becky Rose and Sam Peru Perry. So thanks to you guys for turning up and taking part in the quiz on the night. Very much appreciated.
They aren't the only winners, though, of course. You too can be a winner if you get involved, as we said, before the start of the quiz. Just send in your answers. Well, don't send in your answers, sorry. Send in your scores. We don't want to hear what you've written for your answers. That would be ridiculous. Just send in your scores. I think it's out of 61, if I'm correct. But whatever you've got, send it in on our Twitter or Instagram direct messages. We'll work out who's won, and then we will be in touch, and we'll announce the winners. Yeah, it's been a successful summer party so far, I think. Stu, don't you agree?
It absolutely has, yeah. And once again, many thanks to the wonderful Three Crowns in Chippenham for hosting us and allowing us to do the quiz in their back bar. And also many thanks to the rugby fans in the front bar who kept us entertained with their shouting and cheering during the quiz, which we like to think was for us, really.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it certainly added some fantastic pub ambiance. That was a real bonus, I think. But that's it for another summer party. As we now head into autumn, rest assured there'll be plenty of comforting and warming nostalgia coming your way from It'll Be Alright in the 90s. So please do get in touch with any correspondence you have, any requests, any suggestions. You know where to find us in our link tree. Link is below. And until our next episode, hang on. What am I talking about? We know what our next episode's on, and we need to do something, don't we, Stu?
We do.
Our next episode is going to be another random chart selection from the top 40 from sometime in the 90s, and that means we need to do our random date selector.
Absolutely, and I've already done the hard work in advance. Alex, you'll be pleased to hear I'm nothing if not efficient. I've gone to random.org, our website of choice. I've asked them to provide a random date from the 90s, and we will be looking at the top 40 from the 20th of February 1999 with our very special guest, Channel Nem, which we're really looking forward to.
It's going to be a good one, I think. Fantastic era at the end of the decade there. I think there'll be some juicy tidbits to get involved with and have a listen to. So, looking forward to that one for sure.
You know it.
Yeah. But until then, it's been another great party. Thank you very much, Stu, for your part in it and your role as joint question master and quiz master. And it's goodbye from me.
Well, thank you, mate, for your work as well. I think we make a great quiz hosting duo. It's goodbye from me. I'm just off to find some classic CITV on YouTube and relive the good old days.
Goodbye.
Bye for now.
Alex has gone to the loo right in the middle of the record, so we'll just wait for him to come back.